Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says yo.
Greetings, Koopalings! Welcome to this week's episode of the Nintendo Shack podcast. This has been such an exciting week with the Pokemon Presents and Switch hardware rumor swirling. As always, it wouldn't be a Nintendo Shack episode without Switch hardware rumor swirling, but this time, I feel like we have something a little bit more substantial to go based off of, so we'll talk all about that. We're in March. We are approaching the death of the Wii U and 3DS eShops. We have Mario Day coming up this week. There's a lot of exciting stuff going on, Donnie. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. My dogs are going nuts. I'll try to mute as best I can. So
podcast listeners, sorry.
Yeah, Annabelle. She's always a podcast favorite. Yep. I'm doing good. It's been a fun week. So I haven't played as much games this week. As I told you last week, I was on vacation, and I had just an agenda full of social stuff, and then work and everything. I've been playing more Kirby than Metroid, and I'm having a lot of fun with Kirby still. A lot more fun than I ever remember that game being. And I always think that's a nice surprise when you get like a remaster and you go into it. And I'm sure it's because I don't remember half of it, but I'm like. I kind of wish I knew enough to know the differences, because I just feel like the levels are really, for a Kirby game, they're really good.
That's good.
I was thinking about,
they put a lot of love into the remaster too.
It's really nice. I was thinking about you. You said your friend was already 100% of the game.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going through and I'm getting all of the gears as always, but I think to 100% the game, you've got to do all of the challenges and all of it. I was like, that's too much.
It's a lot.
The challenges can be challenging. I mean, that's the reason they're called challenges. I have been enjoying doing those, but the reason I've been playing it, to be honest with you, Metroid, there were several times this week where I was going to sit down and play Metroid, but I kind of didn't remember where I was, and I kind of didn't remember where to go. And I was just like,
dangers of a Metroidvania if you put it down for too long. Yeah.
And that's why I've always said, I can't juggle games with a Metroid game. I'm either going to play a Metroid game or I'm not, because of this. So for so many reasons, I kind of kicked the can down the road this week until last night. I was like, all right, there are no more excuses. Let's sit down and get back into it. And I have to admit, I had to pull out a guide, because
that's okay.
I had done the boss. I got one of the upgrades. I didn't forget what it was. It was a Super Ball or something like that. And I knew where I needed to go. I just didn't know how to get there. And I forgot about the boots. Yeah, double jump boots, whatever they're called. And I did not know how to find them. I was like, I am combing over all of the snow area. Where are these boots? And then I finally got a guide. I finally just succumbed. And they're all the way in a whole other different place. I would have never found this. You got to
do that. You got to resort to a guide. I see no problem with that. If you've tried and you're not having fun looking anymore, just look up a guide. Because you're going to be spending so many hours looking. You could be in the totally wrong direction.
Yeah, I was not even in the right. I had to take 2 elevators. I wasn't even close.
I feel like with Metroid Prime, it's so vague sometimes. You don't. It's not like other games where they give you a direction or a nudge of where to go.
Yep, I would have never found it. So I pulled the guide, and then I got on my way, and I got the boots, and I got the wave beam, and I got a spider ball, and I'm in the Chozo place. I'm on my way. I think I'll finish it this week. I'm quite along the path there. So
good.
It was nice getting back into it. I'll probably try to play some more tonight, and I may just focus on this until I end it. I think the ending is not too far. It's just probably a few hours away. So,
don't forget about your artifacts. I'm seeing a lot of people on my feed either for the first time or remembering the artifact between the main story and the end. And if you save all that,
forget about.
You should Try to find them along the way. They don't tell you that to find them along the way.
Yeah.
You know, and the artifact room is accessible right pretty much from the beginning of the game. So all you have to do is visit there, and it gives you the list of artifacts that you need.
I went there last night. I needed I think you need the boots.
Okay.
You need the boots to get in there, but I think you do anyway. But yeah, I went there last night, and yeah, it's. I'm really happy that they remastered this game. I really am. It is.
They
it's
did
quite
a great
impressive.
job of it, it looks like it.
It's just really impressive game design, just level design. You know, like just in general. There's so many nooks and crannies. It's such a great mix of like, here's a little arena like where you fight folks, but then like here's these puzzles that like are here but you don't see them, right? And then it's totally 3D like open space, but it doesn't really feel like that. I mean, it blends so much of that. It's such a good Metroid game. Like it just does so many Metroid things so well. Yeah. So I'm digging it. So that and Kirby, that's I'm still kind of playing the same. I'm gonna keep milking them for what they are. I mean, like I because of my taxes and everything, I've been told the stories. Like I'm monitoring my spending. I'm trying to cut back, and you know, just not cut back, just withhold to a budget. So like more than ever, like I'm focused on like just play the games you have. You know, I have so many games. Just play those, and then you know, and then worry about what's coming up next. So I'm still playing these, but I think I can put Metroid away maybe this week and then focus more on Kirby and then get back to all of those indie games that I bought. I bought so many. I have so many games to talk about. So.
And that'll take us through March. You're not getting that Bayonetta game. Are you getting any other
but I'm
major
getting
games?
Dredge. Dredge was the game. You remember? I remember last week I was like, "There's another game, and it comes out the end of this month. It's called Dredge." And if anybody's never heard of it,
Metroid Dredge.
They should do something like that. That'd be great. It's a little indie game. I don't want to say little indie game. It's an indie game, and you are like a boat captain. Like you play this little ship boat, and you go out to sea and you collect stuff and you fish and you come back and you sell it to upgrade your boat to go further. But there's like this weird thing where like at night, like the fog comes in and monsters come in and you can lose your hull and damage a ship. But as you go out into the night, if you press your luck, you'll find like hidden notes and there's like this seedy, dark story that's going on about this town and stuff. And I only played the Next Fest demo and it was incredible. This is one of my most looked forward to games of the year, like on the indie front. And I can't wait to play it. It's really good.
It sounds like a roguelite.
Kind of, yeah. It may be. It's not like, you know, combat start all over again, but you know, there's definitely like a loop. There's definitely a loop that you keep doing, and you progress like a little bit at a time. I wouldn't call it a roguelike, but maybe they do. I don't know. To be honest with you,
just the way you described it, it might not.
Yeah,
be. I don't know.
I haven't looked that into it. You might like it. I would tell anybody to look at a trailer or something. Like it's coming out on Switch. I haven't decided where I'm going to play it yet. I kind of want to play it on Switch. I might play it on PC. I don't know. It'll probably depend on if I can find a deal somewhere. If I can't find a deal, I'll probably play it on Switch. But I had a lot of fun with it. So
Dredge, to clean out the bed of a harbor, river, or other area of water by scooping out mud, weeds, rubbish with a dredge, an apparatus for bringing up objects or mud from a river.
Yep. It's like the little Wind Waker, like when you go out in the thing and you drop your little hook. It's like that in the game, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a second. So my birthday's soon. Birthday gifts have started coming in early.
This week, right?
Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever seen this, but I definitely thought about you when I got it because I was like, Rebecca needs to have one of these for her shelf. This is the unofficial SNES Super Famicom Compendium book. Have you ever seen this? It is a gorgeous book. Hang on. This is Bitmap Books Presents. And I'll give you a little tour here. It's big, thick book, full art stories, like of game by game by game, as you click through, and it'll tell you there's like a little paragraph of every game. It's very nice. I mean, this is a very, very nice book. My wife got this
on my birthday wish list.
My wife got this for my birthday, and I haven't had a chance to sit down and read it yet, but I have had a chance to just flip through it. And I mean, and some of this stuff is
book.
Yes, and it's just I mean, it just looks great. It just looks. I mean, at face value, it's hard, and I know how much you appreciate good pixel art and stuff like that, and gaming history.
And that's my favorite console.
Yeah, I mean, this is fantastic stuff. This is very nice. So
yeah,
birthday starts early. Happy birthday to me.
Heck yeah, that's a good gift. Cool.
That's it. What about you?
Yeah, so I really have just been diving into Splatoon 3 again this weekend. I feel like I mostly only pick it up during events now. Right now they're having the second Big Run event. I know you're not into Splatoon, right?
That's okay. I don't have no,
I know. I couldn't
now.
remember how much you would or would not.
I don't even have it.
Yeah, you don't have it. Okay, so you don't even know what Big Run is. So it's but you know what Splatfests are, obviously.
Yeah.
But Big Run, it's like a take on Salmon Run, where it puts you on one of the actual stages, like one of the Turf War maps, and it's kind of like mega Salmon Run. But the ultimate premise of it is that you're trying to get like a record for the most amount of eggs collected in one round. So like, how you have the one round is like 3 waves. And last Big Run, I only play this with my friends. I don't like playing Salmon Run with strangers because people don't know what they're doing. It's really collaborative effort. I hop on voice chat with my friends and we play together.
Now that I understand, because when it's horde mode, you need cooperation. Yeah.
And like, I trust my friends to like actually be good. I don't trust randoms to actually be good. But
get good
last time, this is the second Big Run. Last time we scored 105 eggs was like our record. We're like, okay, that's a lot for 3 rounds. Like, we did really good. We're gonna get a good trophy. We didn't even make the top 50%.
This is the legacy of multiplayer video games. You're like, I'm so good at this, and you play online. You're like, I am terrible at this video game.
I think we got like no. I'm sorry. It wasn't the top 50%, but it was like for a bronze trophy. There's like the bottom trophy, bronze, silver, and gold. I think we got bronze. It was like not that good. We're like, okay, like that sucks. So like we got to really step it up this time. And like we're like, it is hard. They made it so much harder, Salmon Run, than it was in Splatoon 2. I'm telling you, like it is so hard. We're at 114 is my record so far. We're trying to average like 40 eggs a wave. It's so hard, but I'm probably going to try to get a couple more rounds in before it ends at 7 tonight. Like, I just won a gold trophy just so I can never have to do this ever again. You like look online at like these Japanese players who are getting like 205 eggs. How are you getting 205 eggs? Like, are you kidding me? Go outside, touch grass.
Some Nintendo podcast in Japan is like, we were playing with this noob Rebecca, and like I need to play with my friends because I can't trust these people to be good.
For real. And you're like, I don't know. It's so hard. But the other part of this Big Run is something that they added that you probably don't know if you haven't played Splatoon 3. But I know you like Salmon Run, the horde mode.
Yeah, I do.
If you complete all 3 waves without dying, you get a chance of encountering the King Salmonid, which has been this like Kohozuna guy. It's basically they changed the boss. Now it's this one called Horrorboros, which is this flying dragon that shoots bombs out of its mouth. It is so hard to defeat. I've encountered it like 5 or 6 times so far. I've only defeated it once. It has so much HP. They like made it hard, and it's scary. It's like out of a horror game, Donnie.
Good.
Like in Big Run, the sky turns red. Everything gets like really creepy vibes. And then when this boss appears, it like takes up the whole screen and it screams. It's like, I swear to God, it's so scary. Look up a YouTube video. It's terrifying. It is
Hordes are like, that's kind of my flavor of multiplayer. Most folks know I don't do much online multiplayer with friends, but I can be talked into it in like a horde mode. Like, I love zombies, good Gears of War horde. Like, I'll jump in. That's why I was always into Salmon Run. I just never had friends that wanted to play. Like with the first time, I never had friends that we could schedule to play. And then like, especially if my kids weren't included, like I used to always use them as like free player 2 options. And then, I never played Splatoon 3 with anybody. I think I played maybe one night with folks. And then it just seemed like in my community of folks, it seemed like folks moved on from Splatoon 3 quick.
Oh, okay. Not mine.
So I wasn't seeing a lot of folks playing in the Discord. I wasn't seeing a lot of Sean's folks playing in the Discord, and a lot of my friends were playing. Like you were playing. Like I always knew you were playing, but nobody else was playing. So that was a big part of the reason why I just traded it in, because I was like, I'm probably never going to play this. Like outside of Splatfest, I'll never play this again.
That's fair. Yeah, I have a group chat of friends who, we have a lot of.
That's kind of what you need. You need a squad. You need a crew. You know, and I've never been that. You know, so like Dev and Delvin and I played games one time, like a couple weeks ago. It's the first time we've played games together in like 3 years. We talk every week. We talk constantly, but we don't play games together. We don't play
games together unless you like sit down and make it happen.
We have to make it a thing. Like there's a Starship Troopers game coming on PC. We all love that movie, so like we are making it a thing to play it at least once. We will play it one night, but we probably never play it again.
Yeah. No, I got like 10 or so friends in this group chat. So like usually every night there's at least a couple people playing something.
That's really nice.
Or you can like convince somebody to like jump on for an event or whatever. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, so I'm apparently very bad at Salmon Run, but we're gonna try to.
You were humbled.
Try to get at least silver this time, guys. Oh boy, but yeah, I'm not really playing anything else all that interesting.
Oh, I'm sure you are. I saw you were doing you're still doing your pacifist run.
Yeah, and Breath of the Wild. I did a little bit more yesterday. I forgot that when you're riding on a horse through a field, if you don't see a bird in the field, it kills the bird if you run past it. And
start all over. Do it again.
Bird. No. I like wanted to cry. I had to be a bird.
If you were really committed to the process, you'd start over. You can't. That's not a pacifist run. You murdered a bird. I can only imagine your chat had a blast with you on that. I kind of wish I was there for that. Yeah, maybe Kyle got some clips or something.
I think there's a clip. Some people were defending me, like John and Chat. Yeah. Technically, it was the horse that killed it.
Yeah, the horse killed it. You didn't kill it.
I know, but I was steering the horse.
That's a good loophole. Hey, John 32, your lawyer out here. Case dismissed.
I'll keep playing though. It's like nice just to like be back in the Breath of the Wild world. Like I almost feel like I was kind of afraid this would happen, like because this is only my second playthrough of the game. Like it will never be as good as it was the first time.
I've said that for a long time.
And like I don't want to. I'm afraid to say this because I think I'm going to get yelled at. But like it almost kind of feels like a chore playing it the second time. Like not because I'm not killing anything, but it's like, okay, my options are like go do a shrine, go do a shrine, go do a divine beast, go do a shrine.
The second time when we did like a whole thing, it was like a Return to Hyrule thing, and we went and replayed it. It feels more grindy than the first time because you already know where everything is. So it's out in front of you. There's no discovery. Like that's the whole thing. The discovery is gone. And that's what Nintendo did such a good job of not showing showing so little of that game that when we all got it, we all just ran. Like just go. Like I remember
that's true for Tears of the Kingdom.
I think for weeks, like our podcasts were like, hey, I did this and this and this, and I went over here and this happened. It was just swapping stories of what we were doing. And not like, no, I don't think we ever talked about the story or the character. Like nobody cared. Like I was so backseat to everything that was going on, and it'll never be the same. I have beaten Breath of the Wild 3 times. Like you, from time to time, I will just boot up the game and just go for a stroll, like just to kind of reconnect with it. But it's never the same as the first time. It never will be again. That's why I was hopefully waiting for new Switch hardware to play Tears of the Kingdom. Like I was hopefully I was like, hey, if it's only going to be like 5 or 6 months, I'll just wait. That's why. Because I was like, I want that first time to be like that.
It'll still be great.
It will. No, I'm okay with it. And I think the wait is going to be longer than that. So I'm excited to be playing. I feel like I actually made the right decision going back against that. I'm excited to play on day one. But yeah, that was just the encouragement behind that, because having played it multiple times, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, you'll just play it again. You just get a new system and you just play it again. It's like, but it won't be the same.
It won't be the same.
It won't be the same. It can look as pretty as it wants, but it won't be the same.
Showing really anything about Tears of the Kingdom because it'll be that way.
And I'm such in awe, and I'm sure that they're gonna nail this. I have no doubt. I'm in such of awe of what's there.
We're gonna get on the podcast and be like, "Oh my god, I saw this huge flying dragon," and you're gonna be like, "What?" And I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, if you go in the north, it's so cool."
That's the thing. I can't wait to see what's new, what's changed, what's different, and I'm sure it's just chock full of that stuff. And they're just happily being quiet about it. Like you'll see.
I want to jump into the news.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, as we had predicted based on the rumors, there was a Nintendo Switch Mario Choose One bundle. It's a little different than I think what we talked about, but it does have those pretty red Joy-Con.
Completely different than what I thought they were going to do.
It exists, though.
Nintendo is just phoning it in at this point. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, they are just on cruise control. Mm-hmm. I thought they were going to reissue the Mario console, like the whole red. I told you I thought it was going to be the original Switch. I was like, it's going to be the original, not the OLED.
It is.
They made an original Switch that was all red. The backplate was red. The bezels are red. The whole thing is red from like left front to toe. The whole thing is red. And it's got red Joy-Cons. It was a Mario thing. I thought that was going to be it. They literally just giving us a Switch with red Joy-Cons. There's no graphic on it. There's no Mario sticker. Nothing. I was like, what the? It's just the Joy-Cons?
But you get to choose a digital copy of Mario Odyssey, New Super Mario Bros. U, or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Why wouldn't they just put all three of them in there?
Yeah, they should. They really should put all three.
You get to pick one. What? And their movie tie-in, you remember the rumors are like, there's something included for the movie. I was like, maybe they have like a ticket or like a coupon. They're stickers. Here's a sticker for the Mario. It's a sticker. It's Chris Pratt stickers or whatever. I was like, Chris
Pratt stickers? Shut up.
No, it's not. I didn't see the actual stickers, but it's stickers for the movie. And I was like, this.
It's like Chris Pratt's
face. It would be hilarious, actually, if it was just Chris Pratt's face. I mean, that would make this worth. I can't. I don't care because it's not for me. I honestly don't know who this is for. I don't. At $300. Even with a game, it's like, what, just get an OLED. Like, this doesn't make any sense. This was, they're just, it's like a case of senioritis. Like, they're just counting out the days, apparently, over there at Nintendo. They're not trying hard at all.
Squeeze out a little more. That kid that, still doesn't have one, but their classmates are all talking about what they're playing on their
Switch. You're probably right. And something that I often remember telling myself is that every year, a new class of gamers come up. Like we always act like everybody's got it, but every year that passes, somebody turns from 5 to 6 or from 8 to 9 and from 11 to 12, and they may go to the Mario movie, and it might be their first exposure to Mario. They may not have video games, and this can be that for them. It's not the wisest investment I think you can make, but pick what. Okay, which one would you pick? You're a brand new gamer. You're getting this for your nephew. He goes, Rebecca, which one do I get?
Either Mario Kart or Odyssey. I think if you have people to play with, Mario Kart. If you don't, Odyssey.
Yeah, I would probably go especially if it was a younger gamer, like a new gamer, I would go with Mario Kart.
They should have put a year of Switch Online in this too, to be honest.
I was a little upset they didn't put 3D World. That would have been the one I would have picked. But yeah, get those red Joy-Cons.
Okay. I got those D brand decals a long time ago that made them look, because I was mad that Japan didn't have.
Oh, those are nice. Yeah,
Japan only for the red Joy-Con. So back in 2017, I got these D brand decals for my gray Joy-Con, and it looks exactly the same.
Looks great.
Yeah. There are some more Mario Day deals this week for $40 each.
Mario!
All of these games are on sale because $40 is the cheapest you can get on Nintendo first-party games. Mario Odyssey, Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Mario Kart 8, Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury, Mario Maker 2, Luigi's Mansion 3, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and Yoshi's Crafted World.
Those are some good games. I love Bowser's Fury. I love Mario Maker 2. And I will always say it until I finish podcasting. I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is one of the best exclusives on the Switch, period.
Yeah, I agree.
It's fantastic.
There are some updates to the Virtual Console and eShop updates. Game Boy Advance game, they announced out of the blue that Metroid Fusion is coming on March 9th. It's arriving onto the expansion. You have to have the expansion pack for those games.
Correct. Extra tier.
75%. So wait, you added this note. 75% of the Pokemon's back catalog will be unavailable commercially once Nintendo closes the 3DS and Wii U eShops. We're going to talk about this when we talk about the Pokemon Day.
Okay.
But are you surprised that we won't be getting the Pokemon like blue, red,
yes,
yellow, silver, gold? Because I know we talked about that. We said that was kind of a prediction.
I expected with all of the focus on NSO and like the timing and it kind of being in the minds of everybody and GBA and 64 and all that. Like I just thought now is the time to do it. Now, granted, they could do it whenever. Like they honestly could do it whenever they want. They can launch a new system with it. Like whenever they talk about it, it'll be a big deal and people will be very excited. But I just thought the zeitgeist was coming into alignment for this to happen, and it did not. So
yeah, but yeah, that's a substantial amount, 75%.
The 3DS
Remind everybody that it closes on March 27th.
Yeah, the 3DS has so many Pokemon games on it because the Virtual Console that they did was quite stellar. Actually, you could do really red, blue, green. Gold, or was it green, emerald, gold, silver? Like they had so many, and they were cheap. They put so many Pokemon games on 3DS. I think they were $10 each. You just buy them. I bought multiple. I was buying them for me. I was buying them for Jack. Like everybody had Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
very easy rebuys.
Mm-hmm.
This week, Nintendo has taken 2 of its most popular Wii U games offline to fix.
I forgot to write which ones then. As Mario Kart. Mario Kart
was the other one.
I think so. Yeah. Nobody knows when they're going to come back, and a lot of people on Reddit are wondering if they ever come back. Like maybe they just don't. I think they will, but it's weird with like the timing, like the eShop and everything. It's like they might just kill this off. But
I hope not. I was thinking about going back to Splatoon 1 and booting it up and seeing,
trying to get some lobbies
and stuff. Yeah.
That'd be cool. I wonder if there's got to be people still there playing.
Oh, yeah. Usually there are. Yeah.
God, you just reminded me. Splatoon 1 was such a moment. It was such a new game that I was so into from Nintendo. It was like for the first time in a long time and a brand new IP that I was really excited about. But in so many ways, it was also like really bare bones and kind of like early access and stuff. And I will never forget that they sent out that graphic on how you could rubber band like a Wiimote to your Pro Controller to like make it work. I will like, I can't imagine that got through anybody. Like what a time, what a time to be alive. That was a real thing. They were like, here's how you can make it work. It's like, you guys, what?
Oh my God.
Great
I
Wii U
feel
memory.
Nostalgic for Splatoon 1. I feel like I was, there on day one. Like, I feel like I sound like a hipster when I talk about it, but I feel like, that was the one game that I've been there since literal day one.
I don't think you sound like a hipster at all. I was there too. I was there with you. There was a lot of excitement. I'll never forget when they showed it for the first time. And we saw all the paint and all the shooter. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is a great idea. And I was all about it. I still am. I still count myself as a Splatoon fan. I would buy another one. I would like them to do a little bit more. I felt like Splatoon 3 just in so many ways felt like an upgrade. I'm still very happy with Splatoon 2. Maybe they need to freshen it up a bit. Yeah.
There's also now a 2-hour demo for Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. So if you haven't,
that's a significant demo.
Yeah, that is a long time for a demo.
Yeah. So
assuming
if you're interested, go play it.
Do everything in the game that you would normally be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely foresee this one being like they'll put it on sale. It'll be on sale some more.
This is going to be on sale
the DLC
a lot.
starts rolling out.
This is going to be on sale a lot and quickly. I think it's already been as low as maybe $25. I definitely think I've seen it $29.99 already. And apparently it didn't sell very well, or at least not up to expectations of the first one. So I expect Ubisoft will start discounting this one heavily quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You
know. They also announced this week, coming on March 9th. This is now the third thing that we have coming on March 9th, by the way. We have the Mario movie final trailer, Metroid Fusion being added to Switch Online, and now Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's fourth wave of the Booster Course Pass is going to be added to the game.
Mm-hmm.
2 more cups. They're adding from Tour, Amsterdam Drift, from GBA, Riverside Park, from Wii, DK Summit, from Tour, Bangkok Rush, from DS, Mario Circuit, from GameCube, Waluigi Stadium, from Tour, Singapore Speedway, and also a brand new course based on Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
It looks so good. Oh my god, the music was so on point. It's literally like they have little assets from Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo, like the bridge that goes across. It looks so good.
I haven't done a whole lot with the DLC for Mario Kart. I think I'm gonna have to at least get in there and play just that course. Like if nothing else, I just gotta get in there just to play that one.
It's gonna be good. They're also adding Birdo, new character, and like 9 different color palettes for her.
It's really cool.
Which is cool. I'm curious because I also saw somebody point out how they kind of changed the wording on this trailer. So I can't remember exactly what it was, but instead of saying like a total of 48 courses on this booster pass coming by 2023, they removed that part, the part that says 48 courses. Like they said that the remaining 2 courses will come before 2023, but the wording was changed to make it sound like there potentially could be more than 48 courses.
Oh, maybe they're planning a... So
this could just be something, this could be nothing, but people, were suggesting that could be the possibility that they could decide to do even more. Here's what I think. If that is true, which again, who knows if it is or not, I think they finish out this, booster course pass on the Switch, and then for whatever the next console Mario Kart is, the Mario Kart 10, I don't see them abandoning this and just giving us like a new Mario Kart. I see this being kind of like the definitive Mario Kart, where they bring this to whatever the next console is, sell it as like a pack instead of making it
a full thing,
selling it as like a whole thing. Mario Kart Deluxe or whatever, $70, or Mario Kart Ultimate, and building on top of that.
I think that's
this would be a lot to like abandon at the birth of a new console.
Yeah, no, you're right. I was gonna say, I was wondering if maybe like if you bought the new console, if maybe it's like a pack-in, or if they just like if you're an NSO member, it's included as a pack-in. Like if they try to keep that going for a new thing. But I think the idea of like having a Kart Ultimate where they build on top of what's here, I think look, they have had this game for years, and I don't mean to demean the DLC pass. There's a lot of content here. Mm-hmm. There's by far, they've had enough time to add a lot more than this. So I could see them finishing off this booster pass, and then for the next system, it's like, here's Mario Kart Definitive Edition, and we've got 50 new characters and 50 new courses. Like I could see them doing something that's crazy like that.
Still building on it, but I feel like they're not going to get rid of
And if we already have it, or you're an NSO member, like it's automatically updated or something like that, I could see them doing something like that. I could. But I also could see, I would venture to believe that maybe they have another Mario Kart that has a whole new like a new gimmick, like a whole new thing. That wouldn't be the same as this. And I'm wondering, I don't know what that is. A lot of people always ask for like a double dash thing, something like that, like a brand new mechanic that they're building a new Mario game around, a new kart game. And that might just be the new thing. But I think you're right. This is a lot. It's the same thing with Smash, right? Like, what do you do with Smash? Smash is amazing. It's incredible. It's done. Like you did all of the Smash. There's nothing you can do. Just make it better. Like, like just if you can, just make it better, make it faster, make it look better. Like but leave it alone. Don't do anything to it. Just leave it alone. It's great as it is. Just do that. So yeah, I think the path exists for them to do both. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it. Yeah. For sure.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be trying out the new courses. I always get back into that game every time they release a new wave. It's fun.
Nice.
We had the Pokemon Day, Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day. I didn't list everything. We won't talk about everything because there's little side game stuff that I don't care about. But I listed the stuff here that I thought was the most interesting. They are releasing the Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic later this year, which means they're releasing the original lineup of cards in a deluxe package that is meant to be so that you can buy it and you have all the original cards and you can play the TCG.
It comes with,
which is cool.
It comes with 3 decks. They showed that the original, Venusaur, Bulbasaur, Charizard will be reprinted, but there are 3 decks made with the original cards. So you have 3 decks to play with in a very deluxe, very nice, fancy set with damage counters and a game board. This is the only announcement in this entire thing that I care about.
Really?
And I will probably buy it. I should not buy this. I do not have the money to be spent. But like the moment I saw that game board, I was like, I really, this is all the nostalgia.
I kind of want
so much nostalgia. Like
I'm
I've got.
never gonna play the card game ever.
It's gonna be $250.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Did they say that, or you're just guessing?
Pre-orders in Japan, like the yen in Japan, it's like, if converted, it's like $257.
Do you get all the original cards?
No, it's just 3 decks. It's 3 decks.
You don't even get all the cards?
If it was a whole base set, like a whole original base set, Rebecca, I think they could sell it. I'm not gonna lie to you. If it was a whole original base set, they could sell this for like $1,000. Like if you have a whole original base set, they're very expensive.
Not even the originals. Its reprints are never worth as much as the originals.
That's true. And the only thing that I'm hoping, and I'm going to pre-order it anyway, so it's not going to save me any money. But Pokemon trading cards with things like this, they tend to be overprinted. Like I think they could definitely get a lot of money out of people early, and then they just keep printing them and keep printing, and all of a sudden they show up on shelves and they're just in the bot. And like maybe one day you can just pick one up for like $50, like a booster card box. But I'm not holding my breath. I mean, just the way they've got the dice and the damage counters and everything, like it just looks very nice and premium. They did a really good job at making this thing, and I'm wondering, if it's going to be a limited run, this could be a hot collector's item. But I don't expect it to be. Very few things Pokemon does. They're going to get their money. But I don't
think it's worth $250.
I don't either.
You only get.
I don't either, but I'm gonna want. I want one. I don't either, but I want it. So I will have to pay the piper. Like
I have, Donnie, a binder from my childhood where I collected all the original cards, and that was my thing when I was growing up because I loved Pokemon that much.
So that Jack and I have been playing these cards forever, right?
Okay, if you play it, then that's different.
We have a whole collection of cards. Now, I will tell you, we offloaded a bunch in this past year. Jack wanted a new pair of shoes, so he sold my boss's son like several of his Pokemon cards. But we kept maybe 10 decks. I think we have about 10 decks that we kept. We've got deck boxes and counters, and when Jack and I are just bored or we go on vacation or anything, we bring our Pokemon cards with us. We play. Because when I grew up, I played the game. I used to play in local fairs and local tournaments and stuff, and like the Georgia Masters tournament and things like that. I used to play the card game. I wasn't as into collecting, like a collector. I mean, I think everybody had a binder of cards. I definitely did as well, but I was more like the card game. I always liked the card game. I think it's a great card game, underrated by people. And Jack got into it as well. My whole family knows how to play Pokemon cards. My wife knows how to play. She has her own deck. My daughter has a couple decks.
That's
Jack's
awesome.
got like 4 or 5.
Yeah,
I've
really
got 4 or 5. We've all got different kinds.
Than I am.
I have a Cubone. I have a metallic Cubone coin that they released in Japan for tournaments a few years ago. I've got one of those. Like
that's cool.
So I really want the card game.
that's worth it for you. It's definitely not for me. What would I don't play it. It would just sit there. They announced Pokemon Concierge. Did I say that word right?
Yeah.
Concierge. It's a new original Netflix series that uses stop motion animation coming later this year.
Jack's excited for that.
Yeah, that's cool.
He's really into stop anime. Like he does like little toy videos and he takes pictures of them and makes them. Yeah, so this is right down his alley. It's almost made for him.
It's awesome.
So he's excited.
It'll encourage him to keep doing it. Maybe he could really get into that.
Yeah.
Pokemon Sleep exists. I thought it didn't exist anymore, but it's coming later this year. Measures, records, analyzes your sleep.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That was something. XPS says he'll try the Nintendo Switch online version of the card game. That is something. That Game Boy game it is a translation of the card game, but not well. If you want to play a video game, get the Pokemon the card game app on your phone or like iPad. That is actually a really nice way to learn how to play the card game. That Game Boy game, if you don't know what you're doing, the menus and the text and everything that you've got, a lot of things are like abbreviated because they're long. Damage counter, like that's. I think you may have played it before. I don't know, but I imagine when that comes out, a lot of people are like, "What the hell am I doing? Like, what is this?" It's not the easiest game to adopt.
Yeah, I've never played it.
It's interesting.
The big news from the Pokemon Presents was the DLC for Scarlet and Violet, which we kind of predicted was coming. We predicted there would probably be 2 parts. There are 2 parts. First, they showed off that new Paradox Pokemon will be added to the game. You don't need to get the DLC for it. Walking Wake, which is an ancient version of Suicune, and Iron Leaves, which is a futuristic version of Virizion. They're fine. The first part of the DLC is called The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. Oh no, I'm sorry. That the whole DLC is called The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. Part 1 is called The Teal Mask. It's releasing fall 2023. Part 2 is called The Indigo Disc. It's releasing winter 2023. So we have to wait quite a while to play either part of this. I guess this will be the Pokemon game of this year is the DLC. It is $35. The Sword and Shield DLC was $30. They really didn't show a whole lot of what the DLC will be about. Like little snippets of it. They didn't really show any gameplay or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're bringing some new Pokemon back with the DLC. They're bringing more ugly outfits for your character.
Yeah, what was your take?
It's gonna feel like an obligation to get it because there's gonna be exclusive Pokemon to get with it, and I didn't even finish the Sword and Shield DLC.
They've got you. They're holding you in the palm of their hand. They've got you against your will.
The DLC was not fun. When they started showing this off, like I knew that DLC was coming, but like I feel like I was like duped because they started showing it, and like there was a rumor that was coming off of this, and I should not have believed the rumor that they were going to be doing a reimagining or like a Legends Arceus or something of the Johto region, and I was stupid and got my heart set on that. And then when they started showing like little teases of the DLC for this, like I thought it was something Johto related because a few of the scenes that they showed looked like the Ruins of Valve. It looked
that
like
style.
the Alex Forest. And I'm like, oh my god, it's Johto. And then it wasn't Johto. That was stupid on my part.
I watched this with Kyle. I watched Kyle stream, and he did the same thing, the exact same thing.
A lot of people thought it looked like Johto.
He was so hyped. He was like, "It's Johto!"
Yeah, and it wasn't.
And then to see that turn,
okay, like I like want to be excited about something with the DLC, but like the Pokemon that they showed for it are so freaking ugly. Donnie, I don't know if you saw them. The ones like this monkey, it looks ugly. It doesn't even look like it's so bad.
I can't even. This whole presentation was.
This was the worst Pokemon Day presents that they've ever had.
I couldn't get. I'll never get that time back in my life. I didn't care about anything. I didn't pay attention to it really because I was just kind of out. Nothing they showed me was impressive. Kyle, though, I will add. I was super excited about. Kyle was pretty hyped for the DLC. He thinks it's going to be very good. Jack, on the
he
other
has
hand,
like 3,000 hours in Scarlet and Violet. Like, I
true.
liked it and had fun with it, and
he's a
like
beast.
I don't regret playing it.
Jack's more like you. Jack was very let down. He was like, "This looks dumb." That's what he told me. He's like, "This," and I think he almost said the same thing. He's like, when he told me, he said, "This looks worse than the DLC that they put out for Sword and Shield," and he's like, "And that wasn't good."
Yeah, like, I mean, maybe
like,
it will be cool,
boy.
but they haven't shown anything to make me think, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it's gonna be about. Like, they didn't show any gameplay. It's like you're uncovering a mystery. Ooh,
more
wow,
Pokemon.
you do that in every video game ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of swing and a miss there. Pokemon Company.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Really
and you
surprised.
have to wait until fall.
There was
it's not
no
even like Sword and Shield. Like, Sword and Shield's DLC, you got to play one in June and one in fall. Like, this one you have to like I'm waiting until fall and then winter. Like, what?
Yep. There was no spin-off game. There was no Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah, there was. It was Sleep.
Well, I guess that's true if you count that. There was no Pokemon Cafe. There's no Unite, no Rumble, no Puzzle League, no nothing. No Shuffle, no Troze. Just sad. Yeah. Bummer.
On the other hand, there is a lot of Switch hardware buzz because that's never happened before. However, like I said in the beginning, this one kind of gets my attention a little bit more.
They got her.
I sent you a 4chan post, which, we always have to be careful with those, that was posted 3 days before the Pokemon Day Direct that listed everything that was in the Scarlet and Violet DLC, like whatever information they shared about it, like they got it. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up to
yeah, they got the name, they got the evolutions, they got it all. They got the DLC, they got the waves. I mean, they had everything about the Pokemon DLC stuff. They had it all.
They said, I'm a programmer at a Pokemon outsourcing company. Like, normally you should never believe this kind of stuff.
I honestly, I would love to have somebody go on record and let me know if any, like, does the Pokemon company outsource development to contractors?
I don't know.
I don't know. I thought everything was in house, but
But they said the theme of the DLC is Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. That's like the same name, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
The next version includes dressable clothes as a reward for DLC purchasers. That came true. Paradox, Suicune, and Virizion. That came true. The types came true. A mysterious Pokemon with a green mask. That came true. Special Terrastol appearance. That came true. Third legendary is a large blue turtle. That came true. And then, so none of that, like, whatever. The last line says, we are working on a graphics enhancement patch for the new Nintendo Switch models that will be released alongside DLC 2.
Right. So,
first of all, what I want to know is, why are they releasing a graphics enhancement patch a year after the game comes out?
For new hardware.
DLC? Why do they care? Why do they care? They've already sold all their copies.
That's true. It's a good point. Maybe they're going to try to resell. Maybe they think there's like some more meat on that bone if they improve it. I don't know. The 4chan post is interesting. I've heard a lot of people suggest that, and I say a lot of people because Jeff spoke on this a lot this week. So I've been monitoring kind of Reddit and Discords that have been going on with different theories. And a lot of people are like, somebody had access to the Pokemon news, which could be fair. It could be a media person or a press person or something like that. And then they attach this to it. And the hard part that I've had, like this, they just, frivolously attach this hardware piece to it. And I guess they're kind of trying to shoot down the hardware side of it. And the hard part that I come to grips with is, I mean, I'm sure people just like to troll and, like watch the world burn. But this person wasn't like trying to get followers or traction on Twitter. It's not like clout chasing.
No, because it
doesn't seem like there's
who you are.
It doesn't seem like a whole lot of reason to just add on something. Like, if you had this news, why embellish? Yeah. I think if somebody was to do that, like in this form, they wouldn't have talked about hardware at all. They would have just said, this is the Pokemon part. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, again, it is the internet. People do like to just troll, but I don't get this. I wouldn't have done this, and I can't imagine a lot of people would. had they had insight on the hardware side or on the Pokemon side. So I don't know. I kind of choose to believe it, at least a little bit, because it was just, you can't argue with credibility. They had the whole thing. So that definitely gives them some level of credibility. Now, he also could be, maybe they have like another Pokemon Switch Lite or something. Like it could be in other models. He did come back and say it was next gen stuff. So, but there is like a translation issue that could be a part of this. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know how to take it. Here's what I will say. A lot of people are like, the Switch 2's leaked. It's coming. Like, I love the hype because I'm all about it. I can't wait to get the new model, but this didn't really say anything that I don't think we didn't know. There is definitely another Switch model coming, and it's coming soon. When I rejoined this podcast, like a month ago, we were like, we're on the final legs here. Like we are looking at the end. Like we are approaching the final landing point. We know it's coming. It's just a matter of when. Is it coming next spring? The when is it coming next fall? Like we don't know. That's the only thing that's different. The when is important.
Because it will be released alongside DLC 2, which Nintendo said is going to be winter 2023.
Which makes me think next spring. What we would call spring, next March.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah. Nintendo, I think they factor in like March falls in their winter region. Yeah, I think it's probably next March. Which, if you had asked me beforehand, like roll back a year, I would have been like, it's going to be this March, like now. And then when Jeff was like, it's not going to be this year, then my next thing was it'll be next March. So this lines up a lot with what I was already thinking. That's why I wasn't so enamored by this leak. It seems like a lot of Switch buzz got really kickstarted because of this. It's like, I didn't need this to get excited for. I've been excited for hardware. I told you like 2 months ago.
It's just another piece of breadcrumb that's following. That's true. That,
I would love, what I would love? A credible leaker to tell us what it is. That's what would get me excited. Like actually tell me what this new thing does. What is this hardware? Which, I think there was I want to read the next bullet point because I was actually more excited about that. So the dude that leaks all the models, like there's this guy over on like, it's like a 4chan in China, like this China forum. He leaks all the models. He works at the Foxconn, whatever. He's the guy that takes pictures of all the things. He does the Splatoon model and the themes and the way these things come up via Reddit. Apparently he's been silenced. I don't know what that means. It's scary to say that like in China, but apparently he's been fired or just access revoked or whatever. But according to, I tried to sleuth this, Rebecca, and it's like in different languages and you've got to like, basically just take it from a Reddit, but according to a forum that's going on over there where he posts those things, he's no longer a member. And I think he spoke to somebody, he's not allowed to do it or something. He's been fired or whatever. So
because he's been leaking stuff?
Well, he has been leaking stuff for a long time, but the reason that this, I guess the context that this news became news is that apparently people are expecting Nintendo to enter production soon and they didn't want that leaking.
I see.
So yeah, they closed that gap. They closed that leak. They stopped that from flowing. And I was like, okay, that's exciting. That's more exciting than the 4chan post. Because I'm like, that makes sense. It looks like if we could take all of the information that we have, it looks like they're going to put Breath of the Wild out. They're going to have a big thing. And then at some point, probably late this summer, maybe fall, they're going to announce a new system that I'm assuming they're scheduling to launch in March, or the plan is to launch in March. Maybe it's April, but like, I think that if I was to take all of the breadcrumbs, that seems to be what looks to be lining up. If they're going to start producing, if they're going to start entering production this summer, then yeah, the plan is for March. It's not next November or the November after next.
What would you tell yourself in summer, late 2020, when we were talking about Switch Pro rumors, and now we're sitting here in early 23 talking
March
about
2024.
Yeah. What would you say to yourself?
I would have said that's way too long, but I wasn't surprised. I thought they got a lot of time out of the Wii U for a short console that sucked as much as it did. Like Nintendo's really good at this. They really can kind of stretch things out a bit. The 3DS for what it was, had a really long shelf life. And I think there's plenty of roadmap ahead on the Switch, assuming they've got a few games, a few remasters and a few games that they can put out. So I wouldn't have been shocked by it, but I probably would have been let down, which is probably where I am now. I mean, just a little let down, but I'm telling you, all of this buzz has the hype going, Rebecca. The last few console launches, I've been very successful at starting a piggy bank. And what I usually do is I take 10 or 20 bucks out of every paycheck and I put it in the piggy bank. And this week I was like, all right, we're starting Switch Fund. Like, it's coming. Let's start the Switch Fund.
That's a good idea.
I'm going to do it. Because it's one of those things where I'll never miss 10 or 20 bucks. Like, I can definitely save those really quick. And it has worked. It worked for me on the Wii U. It worked for me on the Switch. It worked for me on the Xbox Series X. It worked for me on the One X. Like, if you just put away 10 or 20 bucks, a paycheck, a month, you get a birthday card. I use my change. Like, if you just throw that in there, you'd be surprised if you stick to that for a year. $400. Like, you just be able to go shopping without, putting on a credit card or trying to pay it off or trying to come up with it all at once. It adds up really fast. So for the last few times I've had an Xbox jar with Xbox stickers on it. I think I'm about to start I'm going to start a Switch something. I'll just have to bring it to the podcast and show it to you, but I think I'm going to do it this week. And I'm going to take any birthday money I get and put it in there. And I'm going to go ahead and start it because it looks like I'm starting to believe. I'm starting to believe it's coming, and it's real and it's happening.
It is.
And I'm getting excited.
Love it. Love it. Then you want to talk about what Grub said?
Yeah, so he went on kind of funny, and this wasn't as much as reporting as it's been taken. He wasn't reporting that he knows what it is, but I guess he's getting in. This was his suggestion. But knowing him, I'm assuming it's coming from talking amongst folks. But he's saying he thinks the new hardware, it's possible that it's more than a Pro, but not a Switch 2, I guess, in however they're thinking about that. That it's somewhat in between those, connected. And the thing he's really using, this might be a GBA Game Boy situation. This might be the Advance to the Game Boy. And
oh, did we lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm sorry. I thought you were about to say something.
No. You stopped.
I think that doesn't surprise me at all. I don't know how people will feel to hear this news. I've been wondering if I think the Pro was real, and I've been wondering if the Pro just becomes the next thing. And it's not like a gigantic leap. I never thought the next Switch is going to be like the Steam Deck killer or anything like that. I don't think that's what Nintendo's going for. I don't think that's what they do. So I'm not going to be surprised at all if, technically speaking, it's not living up to what people think. I think 4K out of a handheld was probably crazy to begin with.
I think so.
But as I've always said, I just want it to be faster. I honestly could care less. I would love it if it could hit 1080p 60 all the time. Sold. Take my money, Nintendo. Super happy with that. I don't need much more than that. So technically, I'm okay. But it'll be interesting to see what that means. It might mean. I'm wondering more if it means that it's not like maybe there's no like new crazy gimmick thing with it. Maybe it's just more Switch. It's like, here's just more Switch, but GBA was like, I mean, I've always thought, I know people lopped them together. I always thought GBA was like its own thing, had its own exclusives, had its own thing.
That's how I see it.
So I'm wondering, like it's a better Switch. It'll probably have exclusives that they start to transition to, but be fully backwards compatible, probably carry the same eShop. All your games come over. Yeah. And I think honestly, I think that's likely. I think a lot of people felt let down by what Jeff said. And I'm like, no, it sounds about right.
Live stream go down.
Did it? What makes you say that?
I think it just came back up.
Okay. I didn't see anybody
there
in the thing.
There was a broken image thing.
Oh.
And now they're all saying,
Yeah. Let us know, chat.
We're back, though. No, we're back.
Great.
We're back.
Perfect.
Yeah. The backwards compatibility is a big thing for me, importance, and I know less for you, but also probably at least a little bit the hybrid model. If it's no longer hybrid, I will be very upset.
Yeah, I don't think you can do this sort of thing and it not be.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, I don't know if Nintendo wants to do that. Like, we're dealing with a whole different Nintendo than the Nintendo we've grown up with the last decade or plus. This isn't Iwata's Nintendo. Like, I don't think they're like, let's remake video games. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're like, this Switch thing works. Let's just keep doing that.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think that's what
I hope
they're
they're
do.
smart enough to realize that.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, this isn't that. I'm not excited. I think a few small. Honestly, here's the thing, Rebecca. I'll do my best Garrett Bland impression here. I don't have a whiteboard, but you want to talk tech specs? The Switch chip as it is has a ton of overhead to run better. You only need to look at people that mod Switches. If you overclock that chip and take some battery life, you can run these games very well. There's so much power left in that chip. I don't know if they're going to do like an overclock chip. There've been a lot of reports that those chips are being phased out or whatever by NVIDIA. Maybe it's like a custom thing that's built on top of it. But if the next hardware isn't, some Tensor Core DLSS thing, I think some people might be upset. But you probably shouldn't be, because if it's an enhanced improvement of that chip or an overclock version of the chip we have or a revision of that chip, there's a lot there. And you look at people that mod their Switches, they can run Pokemon at almost 60 frames. They just upclock it. There's a ton there. It's just throttled. Nintendo throttled it all down to save as much battery life as possible. And if they give up on some of that, there's a lot of power to be had. So
there is, and it's kind of a shame, but I could never see Nintendo like giving an option. Like, how in a lot of PC games you can kind of tinker with the settings, like maybe you want to have higher performance, but worse graphics or vice versa.
I've wanted that on the Switch for a long time. I've been a little shocked that they never went like the PlayStation Pro Xbox route, where they could do like a boost mode, where you could just go into the settings and like just toggle on the option for boost mode. And like maybe at that point, like a prompt comes up and it's like, you're going to lose battery. Your battery life's going to suffer, but you'll be able to run games faster. Just click on the boost mode and it just upclocks it. I was really surprised that they never went that route. Yeah. And that's kind of what the dock does. Like when you dock it, it does kind of enter like a little boost mode, but it's even in docked, it's still kind of throttled. But they wouldn't have to do a whole lot to make quite a performance jump. Even if they kept the same screens, like if they had 720 screens, man, you could really do some stuff really nicely at 720 on an OLED with just a little better hardware. Just a little. They're not that far away. So a marginal jump that's still the Switch and all that wouldn't shock me at all.
I think it'll happen. We'll see.
Yeah. It's not as exciting as the full NVIDIA Tensor Core DLSS future of the world. We're not quite there yet. And I've been wondering for a while now if that's just expensive. Like I said, that Steam Deck probably came out and probably made Nintendo think about things. They're like, we can't do that. Those are very expensive and big and heavy, and like that's not what they're going to do. So it's somewhere in between.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, we have a ton of Shaq questions.
Dude, people showed up.
I don't know, something about this week. Everybody was writing in. We'll
start talking to Switch too. People just come in. Yeah.
Go ahead, Donnie. Start
All
asking.
Right. Robbie's first. He says, you've probably seen rumors lately, but this question isn't about that specifically. But just in case it were true, what games would you replay or revisit if they got an improvement patch on a Switch 2?
I would dive back into. You're gonna laugh so hard at this answer, but like
Switch
I constantly. No, shut up. I always want to get back into my Animal Crossing town, but I don't want to sit there and wait for it to boot up. It takes so freaking long. If it got some kind of improvement that like the load times were snappy, that it would take like 10 seconds to load up my island, I would be playing that every day again. That's the one thing that keeps me from playing.
That's one of the things technically that I think they could do. They could just slap a little SSD chip in there and just improve the memory bus, and all of a sudden games just load up a lot faster.
I need faster load times.
Yeah, the bus would be a big improvement. XPS is Bayonetta 3 for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to say the Pokemon game, Scarlet and Violet. I didn't want to play. I saw it and was like, no. So if it got better, I wanted to play. You remember, Rebecca? I was so excited. Yeah. These are the best starters that I've seen in so long. Like, I wanted to play that game. And then it came out like that. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So that would be one of them for sure. That one, Bayonetta 3, there's probably a few. I would love to go back to some of my third-party ports if they got patched. There's a lot of racing games that I've got on Switch. There's a lot of shooters that I have on Switch, some open world games, Skyrim if it ran better.
To Age of Calamity?
Yeah. You know why? Because when I bought my little adapter that enhances it, Age of Calamity is one of the better games that improves from it. So if it ran better, yeah, I would totally replay Calamity. Calamity at 60 frames a second would be amazing. That'd be great. That's a system seller. Mm-hmm. So, all in. Dennis says, does playing Theater Rhythm make you curious about trying a Final Fantasy game?
No.
Ha! I love it. Absolutely not. I may have any of this Final Fantasy nonsense. Although I will say the new one I think looks amazing. Canadian Crawler writes in Pokemon games, children have to be 10 years old until they become trainers. But then why do I always have to battle a 3-year-old cosplaying as Pikachu? How did this kid get a Pokemon before I did? Also, why does he have $200 on him? He gives me after I beat him.
His dad is rich and famous, and he's allowed perks that the regular people don't get. I
like it. That's a good answer. Gags. I tried to pre-order The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Collector's Edition at my local GameStop, and they were sold out. An employee even told me that the Tears of the Kingdom OLED edition is already sold out. We were both confused since it hasn't been officially announced yet. When do you think the OLED will get announced? Gags, go to a different GameStop.
Yeah, that guy has no idea what he's talking about.
Find a different GameStop, man. Go to Best Buy. Like, get out of there.
Yeah, I don't know that you'll be able to get your collector's edition by going in store. I think you need to keep an eye on those online, in stock alerts, turn on notifications for Wario 64.
Yeah.
Don't hold on to hope for the OLED edition. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I agree. When do you think it'll be announced?
I guess it is looking like it exists, right? It's gotta be this month.
It's gotta be soon. Yeah.
Yeah. I
wanted to say April, but I'm like, that's too close. You gotta do it sooner than that. So I would expect it in the next couple of weeks. Maybe after the Mario Day thing. Maybe they wanted to. We've got the Mario system and all that. Maybe we'll do all of that, and then once they kind of get out of the way, they'll start drumming up the engine. Do you think they're gonna market Advance Wars hard?
No.
Neither do I. So maybe then. Maybe they'll just start doing Tears of the Kingdom in front of Advance Wars and they just don't even talk about Advance Wars.
Maybe.
Joe writes in, Shaq question. With Steve being banned in Smash tournaments everywhere because of broken tech, will Nintendo patch or just ignore the Smash community? So I looked into this because I don't do a whole lot of this. So apparently Steve has a glitch with his recoil animations that recover at a faster rate than other characters. So what it allows him to do is he can break combos that should work on him, and he can recover before opponents can react. So that's why he's being banned. What do you think?
I think Sakurai put a lot of love and care into how he balanced his game to the way he wanted to balance it. And I don't think that's going to change because the Smash community banned him.
Yeah, I think that's probably the answer. I wouldn't put it past them, but I wanted to say, doesn't every Smash game have a character or two that like competitively is just not allowed? So maybe they don't go and fix it, but they have put so much into it. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried. I wouldn't be shocked, but I wouldn't hold my breath for it. If you just not use Steve, it's not like there's not 100 other characters to use. I don't think that's that big of a deal. Kyle says, out of all 6 years of owning a Switch, what are your top 6 favorite games?
So I tweeted something like this on March 3rd, which is the 6th anniversary of the Switch. 6 of my favorite Switch games to celebrate the console's 6th anniversary. These are just the ones I thought of. I don't know if they're my top 6. It's not in order of, first to 6. It's just release order. But I said Breath of the Wild, Animal Crossing New Horizons. I said New Pokemon Snap, Metroid Dread, Live Alive, and Splatoon 3.
That's good. I struggle with this one because I struggle between, as I always do with making lists like this, I struggle between making my favorite list and what I think are just the list, like the best, like the obvious option. So my favorites, I wrote down Breath of the Wild, Luigi's Mansion 3, Metroid Prime Remastered, Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury, Fire Emblem Engage, and Astral Chain. And I struggle because I don't see how anybody can make a list and something like Smash Bros. Isn't included. I'm not that into Smash Bros. So it's not on my list, but you can't argue with how awesome that game is. It's really amazing what they did with it.
Games. I think if you were making a list of best games, that could be. And it was
tough because I left off Kingdom Battle. I really love Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, Kirby and Forgotten Land. Like it's hard to come up with just 6, but those would be probably my 6.
Okay.
Al is back. He says, "What is the thing you want to know most about Tears of the Kingdom? Like, what's your biggest unanswered question?"
Only one. I know the answer is looking like it's a no at this point, but I still really want to know if the traditional dungeons are back or if it's more like the divine beasts or shrines.
Good. I honestly don't know if I have one. I don't think it's the story. Like, I'm here for whatever they want to do with the story. Honestly, if it didn't have dungeons at all, I wouldn't be disappointed. I was fine with the shrines and stuff. So I would like dungeons, but I wouldn't be stunned if it weren't there. I honestly, I just want to know. I just want to know how they change the world. I want to know what's new in the world.
Our time travel theories are true.
I think they are. And I think I'm probably less excited about that. You know, my feelings on time travel, I kind of like start to roll my eyes every time a game does time travel. It was a big thing with Calamity. I was like, oh God, here we go again. But I'm fine with it. Yeah, but whatever.
Age of Calamity didn't have us traveling through time.
True. And it is a thing that Zelda's done. It's just, I just feel like it's a bit played. It's a bit tired for me. I'm aware.
They did it in Skyward Sword. Yeah. They did it in Oracle of Ages. There's so many Zelda games at the time.
I'm just a bit tired of time travel, just in media generally, just in things. I think it's just a lot of time travel. So I'm like, love it. West 3DP says we are massively overdue for a Donkey Kong game. The last new one came out in 2014. We are nearing a decade since its last release. That's not a question. Which Super Nintendo Donkey Kong is your favorite? 1, 2, or 3? Of the options, mine would be 2.
Of the options, mine would be 1 because I had that one in my childhood, so I'm the most nostalgic for it. I beat 1 and 2. I started 3, have not beat it. So 1's my favorite.
Nice. We are due for a Donkey Kong game, and I hope we get one. That's the sort of game that I would love for them to do. Okay, let me ask you this, since we were talking about, and we may even talk about it later. I don't know. I haven't read all these questions. So we're talking about Switch 2. I'm assuming at this point, that it's announced this year and comes out next spring. Is that your assumption, or are you thinking differently?
Can you say that again?
My assumption is that we will get an announcement for new hardware this year after Breath of the Wild, and it'll come out next spring. I'll just say next spring, early next year, 2024.
I think if it is announced, it will be like close to the end of the year.
Okay.
Like maybe with the Pokemon DLC.
So the question, the reason that I asked this to ask this, or I asked that to ask this. Do you think there's another game or two they announce this fall?
Yeah.
Or do you think like they get Breath of the Wild away, Pikmin out of the way, and then it goes like kind of quiet for a while?
No, I think there will be something this year. There's got to be.
I would love it
this year.
You still think there's a Mario? I don't. Mm-hmm. I don't. I think if there's a Mario game at the end of this year, they're definitely saving it for new hardware. You think they're put a Mario game out and then launch new hardware? What are you launching the hardware with? Metroid?
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it could be Metroid. That's not crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It just, it seems.
I think there could be a 2D Mario this year, and then maybe they launch with a 3D Mario. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, that could work. I wanted to tell West 3DP, I hope it's Donkey Kong. Like, I think it'd be a great way to like really cap off the Switch if they're like, and here's a Donkey Kong game. And then we'll see you in March for a new system. That would be awesome. I would be so excited. I hope there's a game like that. And I hope it's not like a little spin-off Kirby game or something. Like, I hope it's a really good game that they put out in the fall that we can all be excited for and play before they start moving to the next thing. But
Yeah,
we will see. The Don Rob says, we've all played Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon. What game for your youth did you play that was a little more obscure that you loved? For me, it was Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2 for the GameCube.
Beetle Adventure Racing for the Nintendo 64, the best racing game of all time.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why I knew that, but as soon as I read the question, I just, like, the instant word came in my head was Beetle. I just kept saying Beetle. I don't know. I want to pick something from 64, but I don't even know. I don't think the games that I played particularly were obscure. Like all the wrestling games, like a lot of third-party games, like most shooter games I liked. Was it Vigilante 8? It was on 64, right? That was a fun game. It was like a Twisted Metal thing. Clock Tower. It wasn't a Nintendo's game, but Clock Tower is one that I often reference. You hear me talk about it. I have a deep love for the original. Not the original. Clock Tower was on Super Nintendo. I've played that too, but Clock Tower for PS1. One of my favorite horror games of all time. That's pretty obscure. It's like kind of out there. No More Heroes, Beautiful Joe, kind of any of the Capcom stuff I was really into. I like that stuff. Jet Set. Yeah. My Nintendo one is definitely like anything Suda, Killer 7 and stuff like that. A lot of people know that about me. So Jamie writes, what weird new gimmick do you think Nintendo will add to the next system? Do you think it'll launch with 1, 2, 3 Switch?
I think it could launch with 1, 2, 3 Switch because we had that rumor that actually is a thing that exists. I don't think it'll be a pack-in. I think they'll make you buy it separately.
Pay for it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The next gimmick.
3D screen. It comes with glasses you have to wear.
Oh my god.
I don't think there's going to be one. Hot take.
There's gotta be. There's gotta be a gimmick, Johnny.
I don't think there's going to be a gimmick.
It'll have like smell-o-vision or something where you like
scratch the screen and
smell
sprays you in the face.
In the game. Yeah.
When you're playing Mario Kart and you hit the water, like water squirts you in the face. Yeah, I don't think the tech market right now is like a gimmicky market.
It
right?
Never has been, but Nintendo's been a gimmicky company.
I disagree with that. Motion controls were a huge gimmick. And at the time...
and who pioneered that?
Yeah, well, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was huge. That was like a brand new way of playing games, I guess. Okay. I don't think there's anything like that I've dabbled with tech-wise. Like when I think tech-wise gaming right now, like tech gimmicks, I think two things: VR and streaming. And I don't think Nintendo wants to touch either of those personally.
No, because they don't go along with what the trends are. They pick things that we don't even know we want, and we don't even want them, but then they include it. It'll have something. But
when I think of when I think of the DS, the gimmick of the touchscreen, that was very much like a sign of the times with cell phones and stuff. That wasn't them innovating. That was them taking like something that the world was using and turning into games. When they did 3DS, 3D TVs were all the rage at the time. Everybody thought everybody was going to do 3D.
3D TVs?
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Sony and everybody, it was a failure. They all tried to sell 3D TVs, but that was the thing.
But
that
Nintendo
was like the next
these
thing.
Things work for gaming. Like they're the first ones to do all these things for gaming.
But I don't see anything in the current market outside, again, streaming and VR that I think is applicable. So I don't think that's my hot take. My hot take is that their system doesn't have a gimmick.
I don't think you're like thinking on the right like lines here, because if you think about it, the hybrid model, the Switch, that's a gimmick where it can be handheld or docked. Like they're gonna come up with something, and we're gonna be like, nobody wants this, and then we're gonna play it, and we're gonna be like, okay, like there's actually cool things about this. Like we're gonna hate it, and then it's gonna be the norm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing it. I can't guess it because I'm not seeing it. I don't know. So, but I'm saying because I don't know, I'm going to say they don't.
I'm gonna say that it's gonna be something where it's
They just get more
some
Switch.
kind of tie-in with our phones. They're gonna really lean into that.
Oh God, I hope not, because their record on that is poor.
I know, but they're gonna lean into it. That's gonna be the gimmick. The next Switch is gonna be you're gonna attach your phone onto the Switch like this.
Let me ask you this. Do you think they maybe adopt a model similar to Xbox and PlayStation? They release a digital only version of their thing? Because that could be it.
I don't think they will.
Okay.
Not now. I think someday, but not for this next one.
Okay. You know, I don't think this is going to happen. I want to be clear. 121 on this podcast. I do not think this is going to happen. But something did just hit my brain. There is kind of a gimmick that's going around in cell phones and tablets right now, and that's foldable screens. So possibly do a clamshell.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule it out. I honestly wouldn't. I wouldn't rule it out.
Something where we would be like, come on, Nintendo. We didn't want this.
And then we all love it.
And then we all love it.
That would be something in that.
I mean.
Yeah. That I could see it, but I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think that's going to be it.
No, but it could be something like that.
Yeah, they could. I could see that being like a Switch. The Joy-Cons a clip on and you flip the screen out. That'd be honestly, it'd be dope. Little sidekick. I miss my little sidekick. Those were sweet.
And then they'll talk about it's like the Switch Pocket. It fits better in your pocket.
Switch Pocket. I like that, Rebecca. That's real nice.
Oh fuck, that's gonna come true.
Switch Pocket would be pretty damn good. That sounds awesome.
I kind of want to make like a mock-up of that with like
that's way better than like Super Switch. Switch Pocket. That's fucking dope. I love it.
Okay.
Brian says, I know you guys are probably going to talk about Switch 2. Man, people are hyped. Tell me why Nintendo would launch Zelda and then announce a new console versus delaying Zelda to launch with the new system.
So that you can buy it twice, Brian. Get your money.
Unfortunately, Brian, Rebecca is absolutely right. I think it's probably... Okay. They probably didn't want to delay Zelda. Like, that's probably the answer. And a lot of times the answer is the simplest thing. What you're saying is you're going to delay Zelda an entire year. And I know you can say, well, they did it on the Wii U. That's because the Wii U sucked. Like, that's why. Because the Wii U sales were trash. I love my Wii U. And to be clear, if anybody hasn't listened to me, I love my Wii U more than most. But the Wii U sales were abysmal. So it was nothing for them to delay anything on that system. That was an easy decision to make. The Switch is still selling. And they want to sell them. And they've got themed consoles and everything to go with it. And Breath of the Wild 2 is a huge deal. This is like one of their biggest games in a mini decade. So they probably just didn't want to delay it that long. You're talking about a year-long delay. And you've got to fit that window. And if they are preparing for new systems, then I would expect releases to slow down. And Breath of the Wild gives them a lot, or Tears of the Kingdom gives them a lot of runway. They can release Tears of the Kingdom, they can release Pikmin, and then maybe they don't release anything else until like November.
There's going to be DLC for Tears of the Kingdom too.
Yeah, like it gives them so much room to prepare for the next system. And then, like Rebecca said, though, what also is true is that then people will buy it again. If they release it again, or they up-res it, or they release a new system, then people just buy it on that. So that's why. Mm-hmm. Ryan says, looks like Nintendo's website spilled the beans on Tears of the Kingdom getting DLC. What has been your favorite Nintendo DLC?
Splatoon 2's Octo expansion.
That's really good. I don't know. I don't think I've ever even thought about that. I wish I had looked into this maybe. Nintendo
also,
DLC.
The Mario Kart DLC is a good one because of just how much content there is. If you had asked me this question 4 or 5 years ago, I would have said Mario Kart 8's DLC on the Wii U, just because that felt like such value for $12. But this new DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, all these 48 booster course packs are really good value for money. But still, Octo expansion is my forever favorite.
Those are good. I just looked up a little blog that's given me, and I actually got a ton of. I'm glad I did, because I forgot maybe how much good DLC they've done. So the first one that I will sum up, Captain Toad. Captain Toad was awesome. That was really, really, really good. And it's got a special episode DLC, The other one I'll bring up is the Donkey Kong expansion to Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which I loved. It's like a whole separate game. I'm still, to this day, shocked they never released that as a standalone. I was sure that was going to happen, that we're going to be able to buy a box art of Donkey Kong Kingdom Battle or whatever. Best, though, again, I'm not that super into Smash, but I definitely want to make sure it gets the respect it deserves. It's hard to argue with how great Smash Bros has been. It's the best. That's why I worry of whatever do they ever try to do anything else? Like how do you top it? I don't think you can. So we got a question like that on PSVG at one point, and this is just a crazy wild theory. It's not even like, I'm not even suggesting it's remotely true. Do you think maybe they would ever go away from like the Smash style brawler and maybe go into like a Tekken something to like kind of do something new or different?
No.
Okay.
Not for Smash.
Okay. TPR says, Donnie, Rebecca, I need urgent advice. I found a Target that has a physical copy of Metroid Prime Remastered in stock, but it's 25 minutes away. Do I make the 50-minute round trip for the collection?
Yes.
Go TPR. Fly with the wind at your back. Go.
Unless you want to like really wait for them to restock it in like 2 months, 3 months. Go get it. What else are you doing with your Sunday?
Yeah.
Listen
Take a drive, man. Listen to the radio. Exactly. Put some tunes on.
Start this podcast over and start listening to it from the beginning.
That's good. That's good. Hang on. So Ryan said the website to the Tears of the Kingdom DLC leak? I don't even know what he's talking about. It just
said like at the bottom of the eShop page, like contains DLC.
It doesn't not like here's what the DLC is.
No.
Oh, okay. I got you. Because you know what? Breath of the Wild's DLC was awesome.
Yeah,
the Trials was really fun. I had so much fun playing that with Jason. We were playing it together in Discord. And then the Master Bike, the Master Cycle, and even like the stuff. I remember when we pre-ordered it, like getting like the Switch shirt and stuff, which was really cool. Like, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that. Logan, what non-mainstream game would you like to see come to Game Boy Advance, Switch Online? No Marios, no Zeldas. My pick would be Mole Mania for the Game Boy.
I have my answer. It's a Nintendo published game directed by Miyamoto himself. It is Hamtaro Ham Heartbreak.
I think didn't you say that when it was announced that you wanted that game to come over?
Probably. Yeah. Such a good game.
I think that has a good chance. It's a better chance than any of the games I picked. I picked a bunch of games that'll never come, but because I did not have a GBA or a Game Boy and I didn't grow up playing all those games, I had to go look up options. And lucky for Logan, when he sent this in last night, I was bored on my tablet. So I was like, let's go find some games. So I found 3. 2 of them absolutely will not come, but I would be super hyped if they did because they look great. It actually kind of makes me want to get them and play them on Jack's GBA. WrestleMania X8 is a video game that came out on Game Boy Advance, and it looks amazing. It looks a really great wrestling game. I was watching it last night. I was like, this looks amazing. Equally, there was a Formula One game that came out on GBA. Formula One 2002. I was stunned when I watched this person play this game. Somebody streamed it on YouTube. That game looks incredible for a Game Boy game. I had no idea that Game Boy games played like that. I mean, that looks way better than any Formula One or open wheel racing game I've seen on 3DS, on Vita. I was like, this looks really good. So that would be really cool. But the answer that I came up with, and this is definitely obscure, and it actually probably has a chance. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. This is a match 3 game with Street Fighter characters from Capcom. And you do the little match 3, and it has its own little thing, like Dr. Mario thing. But it's got a thing where when you drop like the blocks, they're connected like the colors. Like one of them is like a glowing orb on one end, and the orb is necessary to blow up the blocks. So not only do you have to match the colors, you've got to put the orb in the right place in addition to matching the colors to make it work. That game looked actually really good. I was watching somebody play that last night for a few minutes, and I was like, that looks pretty fantastic. And I could see an obscure game like that coming across maybe. Probably not because it's third party, but definitely a better chance than F1 or WWE game.
Yeah.
So very good.
It would be cool to see Starfy,
yeah.
Starfy get but it's it only released in Japan, so it'd probably only be on the Japanese library.
Smokin' Joe says the Formula One show on Netflix is amazing. I'm hooked. Smokin' Joe, Drive to Survive is it. And this is how much I love Rebecca and Shaq is I'm missing the race. Right now I have to go rewatch the race because
oh my goodness,
races happen on Sundays. So I'll be playing catch up on most of my
Let's
Formula
get through
One
these
seasons.
questions then.
Yeah, let's keep it moving. G-Man, what do you think's the best thing about Wave 4?
Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, me too. I was surprised they had a character though. I don't think I was expecting many characters to come down. Yarden, I didn't know you two 6 years ago. Any memorable launch day memories you can share?
So I replied to him and let him know that I have a story for this one, that I literally almost died that morning. I haven't told like many people this. I didn't even tell my parents like until a long time later because they would have been pissed at me that I almost died. But for like a long while leading up to Breath of the Wild's release, like March 3rd, that Switch's release, I was in grad school, I was telling myself, like, my one goal is I just, like, can't die before this game comes out. Like, I don't
my
I
one
can die
goal,
after I play it. I don't care.
Stay alive.
Like, I just need to stay alive until I play Breath of the Wild. Like, that's how big it was to me. And so then, like, March 3rd came, I made it, I was alive. And me and my dad, I had pre-ordered the Switch and Breath of the Wild. And we went to go pick it up at GameStop, brought it home. And I was at home because I was in grad school. I was taking night classes, and my dad was self-employed, so he, was home and whatnot. And he had to go like run something over his friend's house or run a part over for his job or whatever. I don't know, but we brought it home, and he had to leave the house for like 20, 30 minutes. And he's like, okay, like, don't start Breath of the Wild till I come home. Like, I'll be right back. I'm like, okay, like, I'll, quickly eat lunch. I'll get the Switch set up so that it can be ready to go when you get home.
Sure.
And so, like, I set up the Switch, whatever. And then I'm like, I better eat lunch really quick. I made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I put like so much peanut butter on the sandwich. And I'm like, I just like want to get back to the Switch. Like, I want to have it all ready. So I like start eating it really fast. And there was so much peanut butter in that sandwich, and I started choking, Donnie.
Oh no.
Like, I literally like had like glob of peanut butter in my throat, and I like couldn't breathe. And I'm like trying to like cough it up. I'm like standing over my sink, like trying to like throw up into the sink, like whatever peanut butter is lodged in my throat. And I was scared because I was home by myself. I'm
you're thinking, my dad this is it.
Like,
I can't believe
my
it.
dad's gonna come home. And you know what thought I had when I was standing there choking, not able to breathe?
I'm gonna miss Breath of the Wild.
That's literally what I freaking thought in my dying moments. I was like, I made it this close and I'm not going to get to play Breath. I didn't think like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my life. Oh my God, my parents have to find me dead on the kitchen floor.
From peanut butter.
I thought in my dying moments, I'm not going to get to play Breath of the Wild after making it this far.
Yeah.
And then
I've been there with the peanut butter. I've kind of choked on peanut butter before. I'm aware of what that feeling is. It's scary. It's scary in a moment because you realize you're like, oh, I'm really close. This is too close. This is too close to act, because I think everybody probably chokes. Like everybody gets that moment where they choke on something, but then there are those moments where you really choke on something. You're like, oh, like we are too close to death.
Like, I can feel my face like burning up, like
flushed.
Yeah. Oh
no,
my
I've been there before.
When my dad came home, I didn't tell him. I'm like, that would have like freaked him out.
Wow, that's quite a story.
But I could have died from choking on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on March 3rd, 2017.
Wow.
That's my launch day memory, Arden.
I can't top it. My launch day memories were very different. It feels like a life ago, a whole different support system, whole different place. I had just moved right before the Switch come out to an opposite side of town. But I drove all the way back home to my local GameStop where I knew everybody and grew up, and like that's where I reserved my games. And I used to always hang out and talk to all the customers and everything. I was really into Wii U at the time. And I had my pre-order there for like a year, I remember. So I was there. I think I took off of work. I was there maybe like 3:00 in the afternoon. for the midnight launch. So I was there all day for hours. I bought the store pizza. I bought like 10 pizzas for just anybody that came through. And we were playing games and talking and everything. And I wanted to try and remember his name. It just escaped me. I was going to say Jonah, but that's not it. Damn it. What's his name? Anyway, the manager of the store, I left. I left to go get some drinks and whatnot and come back. It was maybe around, it was just getting dark, maybe like 8:30. And when I walked back in, he goes, "Hey, I've got this person that you've got to meet. You guys are going to hit it off." That's where I met Caroline. She was there. She was the other person. She had a chair and sitting there and everything. And Caroline and I sat next to each other and talked about Zelda and games and everything for hours before the Switch launched. And told her all about PSVG, told her about everything doing. She told me about everything she's got going on in her life. There was this other guy that had like this Zelda mask on with like sunglasses, and he was watching like the Zelda animation cartoon show. I think she was friends with him. I didn't know him, and that was like super weird the whole time. I was like, I don't know, this guy's weird. But he was there too, and like we were just hanging out, and it was very funny because our orders were very similar. We both walked out of there with bags of stuff. Mm-hmm. The system, the Master Edition, all the amiibo, the extra controller. Like we both had like almost the same order. And when we left, we walked out and I was like, "You've got to come like on my podcast. You'd be great." And I drove all the way home. I slept. I woke up. And to this day, you can go and find a very lesser viewed video, a very poorly put together audio and video because we weren't doing that. We were very new at this at the time, and a very much thinner version of me, unboxing it all with my kids. My daughter held the phone. She's so young. She was in prom. She went to prom yesterday, by the way. I got to share with her prom pictures, but yeah, she's very little, like with teeth and glasses and everything. You know, she's very little, and Jack is like a baby, and but we tried to make the unboxing video, and then we played Breath of the Wild all day, and a little Shovel Knight. I think maybe a little Just Dance, if I recall. We did like a stream, but that unboxing video is still there. You can still. I looked at it the other day. It's still there. And yeah,
it's one thing for the next console. I want to take more pictures. Like I don't have a picture of me and the Switch on launch day.
My like a lot of favorite picture that I have of Jack was during the Switch launch week. I've got a picture of Jack. He's got to be like 5, maybe 5, 6. I don't know. But I know he's young. He's got big curly hair, and it's still like very blonde. So he's very young, and he's sitting in front of the TV with amiibo around him, like just all the amiibo laid out in front of him. He's playing Breath of the Wild. He's just staring up at Zelda, and he's got all these little amiibo. And that was like his first. I don't know, like his first video games. He's always had video games, but he was struck by Breath of the Wild. He was really into it. Yeah, like
it was you in Ocarina of Time.
It was. That's exactly it. Like that picture, the silhouette. I was like, oh my god, like that's me. Like that's exactly why I love that photo so much. So yeah, and then long story short, I spent weeks like emailing and trying to keep up with Caroline and everything. Eventually came doing Nintendo Shack. So yeah, the launch was a big deal. That was a kind of a highlight moment, especially coming out of the dark days of the Wii U, because we were podcasting before that. We were podcasting about the NX and all the things leading up to the Switch and everything. And that was a lot of fun because it's like the whole thing exploded. It's so much different now than it was then. There weren't as many podcasts. There definitely weren't as many Nintendo things. It was like just Game Explain. It's like Nintendo, IGN, and Game Explain. And now there's 8,000 Nintendo focused YouTubers and streamers and podcasts. And, like it's incredible, like how much this stuff took off with the Switch. And I'm sure it's just the times, but the Switch was so successful that it's like it threw gasoline on that fire. Like it just took off. So fun times.
Fun times.
Kate writes in, we all love our Switch and know how big a success it's been for 6 years, but if you had to choose, what is the biggest letdown or weakness you've seen with the Switch era? Personally, while I enjoy Nintendo Switch Online, it's not quite the same as the Virtual Console. I wish we had more games.
I think for me, it's the Nintendo has always been known for hardware that lasts a really long time. Like, I still have all my childhood consoles. I can hook them up.
This
There's
is a good
nothing
one.
wrong with them. I don't think I'm going to be able to say that about the Switch or the Joy-Cons or, all this other hardware in 20 years from now.
That's a really good answer, Rebecca. I mean, that's the right answer.
It's just not as indestructible as it used to be.
No. And you're right. My 3DS, I have no qualms that if I replace the battery in my 3DS, it'll work forever. I still have original N64 controllers and they work just fine. Maybe you replace the analog stick or retighten it, but like even if it gets loose, it still works.
My Game Boy Color still boots up.
Yeah.
It still works. Everything's
you're
perfect.
you're absolutely right. That's the right answer. I won't even try to give another one. That's the right answer. And then Garrett Bland says, not a question, but I just want to mention the Octopath Traveler 2 is amazing. There you go, Shaq fans. Got your weekly Garrett fill.
Not just that, but did you see what he started yesterday?
I haven't. I need to remember how would I see it?
Oh, yeah.
Do you post in Discord?
He's finally started Live Alive.
Oh,
Last
nice.
night, 14 hours ago, 8:57 p.m., March 4th, 2023. The Octopath Traveler 2 demo hyped me up, but I'm going to need to play something else first. Live Alive.
Is he playing on Steam Deck?
No, he's playing on the Switch.
Wow. I'm amazed he picked up his Switch. He speaks so dismissively of it now.
And he posted at, it's 3:47 a.m. for us. It would have been, I guess, midnight for him. Just completed the near future chapter in Live Alive, one of the more wacky, unique game stories. I dig it.
There he is. You have to go in the RPG cave to talk about Live Alive. Because we will not be having that shit here. Okay? We're not doing it, Garrett. Okay? Take you and your Steam Deck somewhere else. Play those games. That's it. I can't believe we got through all those questions.
Oh my God, you guys kill it with the questions.
I thought we were going to have questions for weeks out of this.
We had 18 questions.
So many.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
As
All
he
right,
should,
that's going to do
Jim
it for this week. I'm going to go try to get a big run score that is enough for at least a silver trophy.
I'm going to go outside. It is a beautiful day here. It's like 78. It's bright sunny skies. We had storms that just came through. It is gorgeous. I'm going to take the Roadrunner. I'm going to go jam. I'm going to get some ice cream. I'm going to go do something. I'm going to go outside.
Down in Atlanta where it doesn't get blistery cold.
That's true. And when it does, it causes havoc. But yeah.
True. All right. We will see you next time, Koopalings. Have a good start to your week.
Bye. Whenever you're ready.
All right. This is Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening. And I forgot the line already. What?